coming off a big win. Anytime you can go on the road in the MAC and get a win, it's a big deal. I think the guys played well. Finally, kind of got all three phases going at the same time. It was, kind of hilly at times, but I think all three phases played well enough to win. Finally got the running game, going. The course of the game and how the game was going, you could stick to the run game, and it kind of happened how we wanted it. As far as popping a couple at the end, which was good to see. Finally got again a couple of turnovers on defense, which hopefully those continue, for us. But I think both sides of the ball did a lot of good things, and of course, again in special teams, I think we're continuing to get better. So looking ahead, got a big week of preparation this week. Got a very good football team coming in here. They are ranked in the top 25 and very much so deserved. But our guys will be up for the challenge, and it'll be a good fight.
Dri, how'd you feel the day after?
Felt pretty good. I felt better than what I expected. Just a couple bumps and bruises. Just soreness from not playing a while. But besides that, I felt pretty good.
You just talk about playing these guys again. I mean, obviously the huge game last year, so much at stake, and then here we are again. You get them at your places.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big game. It's always a big game whenever you play another MAC opponent. They're a great team. We're a great team, so we know what we're capable of. So it's just gonna be a good dogfight.
Obviously, everybody talks about their offense. Defensively, no one has given up some points this year. Have you gotten a chance to kind of check them out pretty in depth yet, or?
You know what? I haven't on that side of the ball. They've given up a lot of points, but they also gotten a lot of turnovers, and they played well in the key moments of the game, and they played well enough to win. And that's the one thing that you look at them on that side of the ball that they've done. I think they're going to continue to get better, though. They got some young guys in the middle, at their middle linebacker spot. They're pretty experienced everywhere else, but their middle linebacker spot. But, we got to do what we have to do, get our guys in position to win. But they're going to play hard. They're going to play fast. They've been on the road in tough environments, so coming in here is not going to be intimidating for them. They got big wins on the road. So our guys are just going to we're going to have to do what we do and play well.
How about Jordan Lynch as a defensive guy? How do you contain somebody like that?
I don't think you can. I really don't. I don't think you can contain him. I think you got to minimize his big plays. And the thing that happens is when you put so much emphasis on him, he's got a lot of playmakers around him that has big games when you sit there and try to overcompensate for him. And that's why I say I don't think you can contain him unless you sit there and put 2 or 3 guys on him, and it's just going to open up, another can of worms. So I think you just got to minimize his big plays, and try to make him one-dimensional a little bit, try to do some things with his reads. But he's a great player, and they're great coaches. They're going to make some adjustments. You got to be able to make some adjustments at halftime, too, to give them different looks. But that's going to be the juggling match of giving them different looks and changing it up on them also, too. But you have to be sound on defense because they give you so many different formations. I think this is the toughest football team we have played. And I know everybody sits there and say, well, wait a minute, LSU you knew was going to be a power team, 2 backs. And I talked about it during that week, that they're not very complex. This team's very complex. I mean, you got to be very, very sound on defense because they can expose you with a lot of different formations and a lot of different plays that they run.
Is there a certain group on the defense that he puts more pressure on than another?
I think your defensive ends have to be really good with all their zone read type of stuff. You look at a lot of his big plays, and they're in between the tackles. They're not outside runs. They're in between the tackles. And then, of course, he makes big plays on the scrambling. They run everybody off, and then, you got to cover those guys. It's not like you can't cover them. So then you got to drop guys, and then it just gives him a lot of space to sit there and make plays. So, I sit there and I say, our inside guys and our ends, our front 7 and our linebackers are going to have to play well for us.
slow them down?
It just it comes down to film. You just got to get in there and watch it and see their tendencies and see what they like to do up front and who he's reading and stuff. So, I mean, the more we know going into the game, the better off we'll be.
Playing him last year, how does that play into the rematch? Haven't seen him once already.
I mean, we're just going to prepare like it's another MAC game because it is, and we're just going to try our best to just do see what they did against us last year, and see what they've done previously this season. So.
How about on the offense? Obviously, these guys are going to score some points. Does that put a little more pressure on you guys every time you get the ball? You're thinking, man, we need to get something done here.
No, I mean, not really. We what we're capable of. We know what this offense can do. We just got to keep moving the ball like we have been. Get the running game started. It's going to open up. The playmakers on the outside. We got receivers. We got great receivers. So, once we get the running game started, it's going to open up the whole offense.
How important was it to get the running game going? Obviously, one of the biggest weapons you could have this week would be to run the ball and keep them off the field.
Right, and that's where it all starts. For us to be able to run the football, and the best defense is the one that's sitting on the sideline. So our ability to keep the clock moving and our ability to move the chains is going to be big for us this week.
Talk about moving the chains. How about stopping the opposing team from moving the chains, especially on third down? You guys stepped it up a lot this week against Western Michigan. Obviously, tougher opponent this week in Jordan Lynch. You talked about how you want to, you say that you can't contain him.
Right.
How important is that?
Well, I think it's going to be huge that you can get off the field on third downs and don't give them extra plays and other opportunities. I think it all starts with winning on first down, though. That's the most important down, because then you can get them in third and long situations to maybe try to minimize what they're doing in third and long situations. But I think first down, we got to do a great job on first down, and then when we get him in those certain situations, we know that what he likes to do, and we got to minimize him doing that.
Something that gets overlooked in games like these sometimes, I know you need your team well, special teams. They've made some huge plays on special teams this year. It's been a very important part of your success. Can you talk about that matchup going into a game like this?
I think it's huge. I think it's huge in every game, and especially in these big games. We got to continue to. The one thing I think we've done a good job, and you look at our punt team, and Anthony has done a great job of punting, of changing the field. And if we do a good job defensively of not giving up big plays, you make teams earn it, and eventually they're going to make a mistake, also too, and you can get them in a third and long situation where you can get off the field. So it's still going to play a huge part. Our coverage teams have been doing a very good job, in our punt and our kickoff team. When you look at, we call it our DSA, drive start analysis, on where teams are starting, their drives, and most of them are, I think our average is probably 21, which if they down it, they get it on the 25. So anytime you look at that, we've done a good job on the kickoff, especially with them moving it back and everything. So it's going to play a big part in this game. We got to make sure that we continue to get better at those phases of the game, and don't let them open up a game, with a big play on special units.
You mentioned Dri was kind of a decoy last week on
right.
kickoff. Is it a little more turn and loose type thing if they would happen to kick to him this week?
Yeah, and I mean, we went into that game with the if they kick it to him, he'll go. But we kind of knew that if he was back there, and we told Dri, he was like, he's like, am I going to return this week? We said, yeah, but they're not going to kick it to you. So you just go back and stand, and we'll pooch it, and we'll get it on the 40. And that's really what they did. But they got to decide if they want to kick to him or not. But he will be back there returning for us.
How about punt-wise? Is that something, obviously you worked hard in the offseason, is that something you may?
We may, that decision hasn't been made, yet, but kind of depends on, again, how he feels a little bit, and that part of the game has not killed us. I know when you look at the numbers, I think we're last in the league in punt return just because of the yardage. We haven't had a lot of fieldable balls to sit there and return. So, we talk about in that phase, all we need is the ball. And if we get the ball, we'll be okay. So don't try to overstress getting big returns. If we can, we want to average a first down, but if not, all we need is the ball.
It's kind of like a pick your poison type deal for them when kicking off because their scout isn't exactly slow.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I mean,
And that's the good thing with Dri being back there also too. You got two guys back there that can make big plays, for us. So they, like you said, either they can pooch it and give us good field position, or they can kick it back there and see if they can cover.
Obviously this is a game that everybody points to before the season started. They've pretty much done exactly what you would thought. You guys, it's been more of an up and down type thing due to various circumstances, but yet you feel pretty good about where you are now that this game is 5 days away.
Yeah, I feel good. It's good, again, that you got Dri and guys like Pat McShane back. Rosie's feeling healthier. Luke Wallett's feeling healthier. So now you feel that you got your horses that can go, run and win the race. So we're about as healthy as we've been all year, besides the first game, of the season. Came out of this game pretty healthy. So feel good, where we are right now. And now we can, I wouldn't say open the playbook, but you can sit there and start doing a little bit more things to really almost take some pressure off of Colin. Also too, to be able to hand the ball off and throw the ball on short passing game and let some guys do something with it.
You talked about opening playbook in the first quarter against Western Michigan. It looked like you were really diving deep in the playbook. Were you, or is that just your game plan to come out kind of shocked with Western?
No, that was kind of in the game plan of I know the formation, the polecat formation. We were going into that game. It all depended on where the ball was going to be placed. We needed it in a certain place. It wasn't in the place on the first play of the game, so we did something to get it over there on the second play of the game. We knew we were going to run that in the first and second play of the game. We knew that we were going to sit there and keep running it until they felt that they could defend it and stop it. So that was kind of already going into the game plan that we were going to do some of those things. But again, it goes back to being able to run the football and establish the run. I think that was the best thing coming out of that game offensively.
how much does Dri being healthy aid that?
I think huge, just because, I think all teams know who he is and where he is on the field, and you don't have to give him the ball all the time to make things open up. But you can do some deceptive things to sit there and think you're giving him the ball, and it open up some other things on the run game and also the pass game. So it is a big part of having him back out there to sit there and sometimes giving him the ball and sometimes being deceptive with it.
Dri, what about you? Are you happy with where you're at after that first full game?
Yeah, I feel real good. I just had to get back out there, get my feet wet again. My first full game all season. But yeah, I feel real good where I'm at right now.
This matchup with you and Lynch, a lot of people had you guys rated 1-2 in the league as far as his players going into the year. And then, he's done his thing again. You kind of had some, health issues, but now you say you're pretty healthy going into this matchup, and the table is kind of set for a pretty special day as far as both teams and you guys individually. Can you talk about that?
It's the thing about football, it's not an individual game. It's a team sport, so I don't really look at it as me against him. It's Kent State Golden Flashes versus Northern Illinois Huskies, so it's really just a team effort.
How about both you guys? Last year, going into this championship game, I think it was pretty much a toss-up, considered a toss-up game going in. This year, obviously, from what they've done, most people are going to consider them pretty, a favorite without a question. Can you talk about, mentally going into a game, different mindset as far as that goes, and as far as kind of being the underdog this time around?
Oh yeah, it's I like being an underdog in matches. It gives us a lot of room to prove a lot of people wrong. So we know we're gonna be an underdog going into this week. We just gotta go out there and execute. Know what we can do. It's execute everything we can do.
Yeah, we like the challenge, but in our team room, we all believe that we can win the game. So we're just gonna go out and practice hard and just take it on.
You guys were in a similar situation several times last year until you really got established. Rutgers would be an example that comes to mind. Can you take something from that? You were able to go in and win that game. You're you're back here now in a similar situation, and you know you've had some success doing that in the past. That helped.
Yeah, you know, it helps in the past, but you know, we're a different team this year. You know, we got a lot of new faces. You know, some old faces, but a lot of new faces. But you know, we know what we're capable of, as we noticed last week against Western. You know, we got all our guys back. You know, we're healthy as we can be. You know, we're just go out and execute.
Yeah, exactly what he said. We're healthy and we're ready to go, and we're focused on this team this year, and we think that we have the team to do it. So we're just going to go out and practice hard.
Do you play up that underdog role here in this situation?
Well, and again, it's. I mean, they're a good football team. I mean, you look at the things that they have done this year and last year. It's not like they're not deserving, but that's why the game is played. You know, if we all went off of the experts, they'd already have the name on the trophy of the guy who's winning. So our guys are hungry to go out there and compete. I don't know if we'll play it up. It is what it is, you know, right now. But again, that's why the game is played, and we got them here. We got them at home for homecoming. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. But these are the fun games when people don't give you a chance to sit there and win, and they already got the winner already determined. You just go out there and just play. There is no pressure. There's no pressure on us. Just go out there and play and compete and see what happens at the end.
How about last week? You said, you know, after the Penn State game that the season really started now with the conference game. You have your first conference win under your belt now. How big would it be to get a win over this good of a team at home and keep moving forward?
I think it's huge. And again, it doesn't matter. It just happens to be Northern at this time. But, you know, but I think anytime you get in the conference and continue, you control your own destiny if you keep winning. And that's the one thing that we talk about. We control our own destiny when you win. So every win in the conference is big. We just happen to have Northern, you know, this week for homecoming. But it's going to be a great week of preparation. Our guys will be super excited, you know, for it. We finally get back home, which I think is another key of being on the road. Getting back at 5 o'clock in the morning isn't fun, you know, on a 4.5, 5-hour bus ride. But our guys will be excited to get back in front of our home crowd and play.
Is this your first homecoming back since graduating?
This is my first homecoming? Yes, yes. Unfortunately, I couldn't come. I was busy on all the rest of the homecomings.
They actually take advantage of any of the other activities, but besides the football game?
I think there's a pet rally this week. I believe so on Wednesday that I'll be attending. You know, but we are promoting the gold out, so hopefully we can get everybody in the crowd wearing gold this week and fill the stadium. It'll be an exciting game and a fun game.